Hey guys, it's Miss J again for some math madness, and we are going to be working on a thing called proportions today. So I figured it'd be kind of funny to think about hand sanitizer because we know we all want some. So if we have a company, a factory, that's wanting to make hand sanitizer, and say they can make 20 bottles of hand sanitizer every 1.5 minutes. What our question would be is, how many bottles of hand sanitizer could they make in, say, an hour? So an hour, 1 hour would be 60 minutes. So we're looking for how many bottles of hand sanitizer could they make in 60 minutes. We call this a proportion because, like I tell my students, if we have 3 things and we're looking for a 4th, that means we're going to set up a proportion, cross multiply, and solve it. So let's go ahead and start with that. We have our 3 numbers, 20 bottles, 1.5 minutes, and 60 minutes. We're looking for a 4th number, and that 4th number is going to be how many bottles of hand sanitizer. So then we're going to set up our proportion, and a proportion means that this equals the exact same as this. So like 1/2 equals 2/4. So they're the same proportion on both sides, the exact same fraction. So we're going to go ahead and set this up. If we have 20 bottles of hand sanitizer in 1.5 minutes, now notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep bottles on the top. We call this a numerator. So I'm going to keep the bottles at the top. Do we know how many bottles we want? We don't. So we're going to call this X. We don't know what it is. But on the bottom, the denominator, we're going to put how many minutes. So 60 minutes. So remember, when we have those two proportions, we're going to cross multiply, which means we're going to do 1.5 times X equals, and then we're going to do 20 times 60. Now, nice little cool trick about multiplying with zeros. 2 times 6 is 12, and then we bring these 2 zeros back. So we have 1,200 minutes. So this is just like I taught the other day. We have 1.5 times X equals 1,200. So we now have 2 sides of an equation. Remember from the other day, we draw a line to separate the sides, and then we have to do the opposite operation to get X by itself. So if this is 1.5 times X, we're going to go ahead and divide by 1.5 on both sides. Now this is where the math gets a little bit tricky. So we're going to go off to the side, and we're going to do 1,200 divided by 1.5. Now then, we can't divide with a decimal. So we're going to move this decimal over, and we're going to move that to add a 0. So we actually have 12,000 divided by 15. And now we can do our math. 15 won't go into 1. 15 can't go into 12, but 15 can go into 120. 15 will go into 120. Let's see. 2 would make 30. 4 would make 60. 6 would make 90. So 8 would make 120. So we can go in 8. And we get 0. And then if you notice, when we bring down the 0, 15 can't go into 0. And then we bring down the 0 again, 15 can't go into 0. So we now know that we can make 800 bottles. 800 bottles of hand sanitizer in 60 minutes. I'd like to find a factory that would do that for us because I'd love me some hand sanitizer. Bye guys!